Hey everybody, welcome to Marcy's weekly Thursday motivation from the van. If you have watched before, hashtag lifer. If you've never watched before, hashtag newbie. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. I'm gonna try and find a little bit, I'm gonna try and find a little bit of light here. So normally on Thursday nights, I try and do a great big huge motivational speech. And tonight I'm going to do something a little bit different. So tonight what I'm going to do is, today is my 1-year anniversary with my company. And so I'm going to do something different because I've never done this before. But I'm going to tell you guys, really dive in there. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself, how I've made out, how my journey this past year with my company and my why for doing what I do. Okay. So some of this is a little deep, and I have not gone on here and really kind of told people this before. So here we go. Now this sounds like I'm starting way back. I kind of am. But that's where I'm going to start because that's kind of where my story starts. When I was 21 years old, at 21 years old, I owned a house. I was married. I had one baby girl, and I was pregnant with my second. And I thought that I had life frickin' figured out. Right from high school, I thought I had life figured out. At 21, I had a house, I had a baby, I was married, I was ahead of the frickin' game. I was ahead of it. I was kicking some ass. But by 23, I was divorced. I was a single mom of 2. And I moved back in with my parents for the first time. And honestly, life was a freaking whirlwind from that point on. That was probably a moment in my life that defined a lot of the years that came after it. My self-confidence went really far down. My self-worth, what I thought about myself. Sorry, I made myself notes, guys, so I'm kind of cheating. That was awful. That was probably the most awful time of my life. I had so much going on. I was in nursing school, actually, when this all started. So to make things more difficult, I was still in school. I wasn't working. And I was now a single mom on my own, living with my parents. And like I said, that vastly affected me. Thank God that I have always had the most amazing family and the most amazing friends. My family has always been there for me, and I could not be where I am without them. They have always been spectacular. They've always been there for me. And I went through some times after this, and I don't know if anybody ever watched that live that I did about the bird hitting the window, trying to get out, repeatedly hitting the window. Well, I kept repeating this part of my life. I kept getting into bad relationships, and I kept having to get bailed out. I kept pounding that window because I wasn't seeing any other way. I kept jumping into relationship after relationship after relationship, and I kept making the same mistakes. And I kept losing everything in the process. And like I said, thank God my parents are amazing. I kept ending back up with them. Probably at the lowest point in my life, at the lowest that I was, I had to move myself and my 2 kids into a 2-bedroom apartment. They both had a room. I slept on the couch. We were utilizing a food bank. We were there over Christmas. And I very much remember that Christmas, Drew asked me if he could have a pair of winter boots. And that is probably the most awful feeling as a parent when you can't supply some of those basic necessities for your kids. That was a low point. I ended up getting evicted because I couldn't afford rent. And I moved back in with my parents, who love me, for the last time. Actually, I'm going to back up a little bit. That Christmas that Drew asked for boots, my dad and a really good friend did something spectacular for me, actually. My dad gave my kids $100 to buy me a Christmas present. My girlfriend took my kids out, bought the Christmas presents that they wanted, and put the $100 back in my purse. The purse was one of the presents that they bought me. They put it in the purse and gave it back because she said, you can't give a purse without money in it because it's bad luck. She is absolutely amazing. She's an amazing person. But anyways, I ended up back in my parents' house, and my dad told me that I was not allowed to leave until I kind of got my shit together. So I was there for a little bit. But I did. Eventually, I kind of got my stuff together. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit. I met James. And in meeting James, I kind of inherited 2 children. So I have 2 fantastic stepkids, and now we have 2 more together. So we have my 2, his 2, our 2. We're a crazy, cute little Brady bunch. It's crazy, it's chaos, and I love it to pieces. But at the same time, James has still always been the one, and I love him so much. He's always been there and been that person, just like my parents were, that made sure that I was okay, that protected me, that bailed me out when I needed it, and he still is. Anything that I need ever, he's always there for me. And like I said, he's absolutely amazing. He means the world to me. So, now that you have a brief history, I'm going to jump into my journey with Younique. So, I was in between mat leaves when I decided to join Younique, and quite frankly, I really just wanted a discount on the makeup. I was having a tough time in between maternity leaves. I didn't really feel like myself. I needed a pick-me-up. I'm like, why not? Because I got my hair done and I got some new clothes and I did my makeup. I still never really felt 100% right. But I thought, sure, why not? And then the company offered like different challenges and incentives, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make a game out of this because this is kind of fun. I like challenges, I like incentives. Apparently I'm a red personality, so I like to win. And that's just kind of how I am. But in 10 months and being with the company, I was actually able to build the company, and I currently sit at the top 2% in the company, and I have been able to see it. Like, I was not expecting this. I have been able to see incredible things with this company. I have been able to pay for things for the kids that I didn't think I was going to. I'm able to take James out every single month on a date night. I take some commissions and we pick a new restaurant, or we pick something new, and we do date night, and it's so much fun. But I have been able to see people do amazing things. I actually will be able to, and this tears me up, it's silly. I'm going to get to take James to Cancun on vacation. And I haven't been on vacation without kids since before Trinity was born, and she's almost 14. And this is something that I can do for him, not something that he is doing for me, because he does everything in the world for me, but something that I can actually do. Okay, sorry, I know that's so silly. But anyways, I have seen so many different things with this company. I have seen it change lives, and I'm so excited for what it's done for me so far. So I'm gonna start talking about my why. So, that girl that I talked about at the beginning, that girl who kept going through that ridiculously vicious cycle of tearing my life apart, and having to have somebody help me back up, I am done with that girl. This is my why. I am completely done being the victim, having to always have to rely on somebody else. Thanks, Mom. I love you. And even though family's always supposed to be there for you, I get that. But I don't want to be in a position where my family has to always be there for me. My little sister has bailed me out so many times. I'm the older sister. I should be able to do this, right? But my family is freaking amazing. So, again, back to my why is, like I said, I've seen what this company can do, and I am so excited to be able to work to a point where I don't have to be picked up anymore, where I can actually help pick other people up, where I can do things for my family because I have relied on them and they have supported me for so long. I'm going to be able to give back to them, take them on trips, do things for them that I've never ever been able to do. I want to be able to travel with my family and without sometimes. I want to be able to take James on trips and take the kids on trips. My kids, my older two, Trinity and Drew, know way too much about struggling with money than any child should have to know. And I want to get to a point where they don't have to worry about it anymore. And I'm going to. 1 year and I'm at the top 2% of my company. And by the end of this year, I plan on leveling up at least once or twice. And within a couple years, this company is going to provide unimaginable things that I have really only dreamed of, things that I've always told myself I always wanted more for my life and more for my kids, and I'm actually going to be able to do that. So that's kind of my why in a confusing nutshell, if that made any sense. But yeah, so it's really important when you're looking at things and aspects in your life to figure out why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing something that you want to be doing? Is what you're doing going to improve your life? In a year from now, is what you're doing going to make a difference? And I have decided that the things that I am doing now are going to make a positive difference on the lives of my friends and my family, for me. And I hope that you guys, when you guys pick out your whys and pick out the things that you want to do for your life, I hope that all of you guys think of amazing things that you want for your family as well. Dream big. Dream huge, because you deserve it. You deserve to have it all. You just got to work for it, but you can do it. Alright guys, I'm going to let you go. I ranted a little bit longer than I wanted, and the kids are almost done dance. So, I love you all. I will see you all tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Bye guys.